Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. So it's been 3 months since BattleStyles went out of stock on the Pokemon Center website, and of course it was the last of the three final boxes, the other two being Vivid Voltage and Silver Tempest, that went out of stock over there after having been sold for $144 MSRP forever with no quantity limits. And the first of those three went out of stock around November, December timeframe, the second one around January, and then BattleStyles on February 13th. And so here we are 3 months later. I had promised to come back and look at prices and sell through and everything else after 3 months and see what had gone on with these boxes. And to just kind of tell the backstory in case you weren't around at the time or in case you've missed it, when we had the Pokemon bear market of 2021 and 2022, Pokemon had way too much product out there, and they kept releasing new expansions, but they also just kept regularly reprinting not only booster boxes but supplemental items. And what would eventually happen is all of these things would get put up on the Pokemon Center website where they would just sit at MSRP. And it was not until prices started rising in 2023 and 24 that the market prices on TCG Player, especially for these booster boxes, started to exceed the MSRP price on Pokemon Center. But not many people knew that that option was available. And so TCG Player would regularly be $10 to $20 higher than the $144 MSRP over on Pokemon Center, and it remained that way until the market really started to heat up late at the end of 2024 and early 2025. And so up until February 13th of 2025, you could get these boxes over on Pokemon Center for $144 with no quantity limit and with free shipping. Now, for most people, Pokemon Center will not take your tax paperwork, so you do have to pay sales tax and then either get a refund from your state or otherwise handle that depending on how your state does it. But $144 for the boxes, and now we can see merely 3 months later, $200. And so essentially these have gone up 33% in 3 months. And it's funny because when I talk to people who have been here in the Pokemon market with me for a while, and we just talk about different products and the way things have gone and where we think they're going to go and things like that, sometimes we'll look at a product and we'll say something like, "Oh, only 33% in 3 months." And then, I always have this double take where I remember, in the stock market world, if you gain 33% in 3 months, you get kind of scared. And you start to think, maybe I should sell part of that position because that's going up way too fast and it's going to retrace. And of course, the big difference that I always try to emphasize to everyone is the quantity of these things left in the world goes down every day. The quantity of shares of stock in a company does not change materially day to day. Sometimes on long timelines, the number of shares changes materially, but not day to day, and it doesn't always change in one direction like these do. These only go down in quantity once they're out of print. So $200 here, 3 months out, and if we look at the last month, what have they been selling? 85 boxes over the last 30 days, so 3 boxes a day. And something interesting happened here that we should have expected if asked, but short of being asked, I think it's okay we didn't quite see it coming, but it's that these became the substitute box in the market. For a while here in the last couple of months, these have been one of the cheapest sealed Pokemon boxes available in the entire market. And you've had other Scarlet and Violet era boxes up at the high 100s, low 200s, all the way up to the mid 200s. And all of your Sword and Shield era boxes, except for this one, are firmly over 200 and a lot of them way above 200. And so you've had this effect in the last couple of months where somebody who simply wants to rip a box, maybe somebody who's buying this as a gift or something else, this has been the one of, if not at some points, the cheapest substitute in the entire market. And I think that has thoroughly driven some sales, and especially why we're seeing 3 boxes a day. I bet if we go back on here, can we see any type of appreciable difference? Yeah, so if we look back over the last 12 months and you look at the light blue bars that are the sales volume over the various periods, this probably breaks down to, yeah, 1 week periods. So you can see a lot more volume in the second half of this chart than in the first half. And so the sales actually picked up as this became the cheapest item you could get if you just wanted to crack packs in the market. So 33% in 3 months. Yes, that's very good. Yes, it's somewhat unsurprising being that this is a Pokemon product. It's out of print, and this is right as it's starting to really dry up, and people are realizing that if they ever wanted a position in this product, they better get it now because the price is only upwards from here. So I don't really expect 33% every 3 months forever. We don't see that with any Pokemon products. Even Evolving Skies, which has been the best performing Pokemon product of the last 5 years, has not done that well. It's done about 80 to 100% compound annual growth rate, but not 33% per 3 months. That's something like 280% a year, something wild like that. So I do expect this to moderate and slow down over time. I don't really expect it to ever go through any type of protracted bear market because remember, these are scarce collectibles that people destroy for fun. There are fewer and fewer boxes of this available every day. And what do we look like out here in the market depth? So first off, there are 139 boxes in the market and 85 sold in the last 30 days. So the market depth is only about 6 weeks. And of course, we do expect many more boxes to come to market. We expect many more to come out of closets as people realize, oh man, this has gone up 33% in the last 3 months. As people realize, hey, it's way above that $85 delivered price point that we were buying it for back in 2022. But out here, we have a lot of boxes up to about 200, 205. So not a lot of movement. Yeah, not for quite a while. Even 210, 210. Even this, 213, 215. So yeah, not a lot of movement as we go out here on the chart. Even way, way, way down here, 218. It's not really anything to write home about. Not even a 10% gain over where it is right now, and you have to sell through all these boxes. So the price we probably should not expect to move very dramatically anytime soon. People have been buying this, but, you know, it may slow down, especially if we get some more price relief on Scarlet and Violet era. If we really see a bear market on Scarlet and Violet era start to form and really take hold, then you're going to see a lot of the more recent Scarlet and Violet era boxes drop back below 200, drop down into the mid 150s, and that's really going to slow a lot of the sales of these old Battle Style boxes. Because don't forget, BattleStyles really was the least popular expansion of the Sword and Shield era. Yes, it's already over $200, but it is subject to disinterest if there are better substitutes out in the market at cheaper prices, especially if they are more recent expansions that people are still more excited for. So very interesting. I have on my Kanban board to come revisit all of these expansions, I believe at 6 months after this point. So I'm just going to roll Silver Tempest, Vivid Voltage, and BattleStyles checkups together into one video 3 months from today and see what happens. Of course, we have a bonus box sale this Friday that's going to potentially drive a lot of sales. We have not had a bonus box since Black Friday of 2024. So it has been 6 months since we got a bonus box sale. We're finally getting one. And I think the market is going to see some very significant movements upward on the back of that. There are so many products out there that are ready to gap up severely. There are so many products that I'm watching out there that have very, very limited market depth. So if you're interested in my thoughts on that, I have a thread over on Patreon for my patrons with all the interesting things I'm seeing out there leading up to this bonus buck sale coming up this Friday. Join the Patreon, you get in on that, and of course a whole bunch of other great stuff. So let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.